Tell me how you feel about sending your children into a world war.
Let's see. It's never going to happen. Not the one that they're trying to brew up right now, at least. It's a hard pass. Yeah.
Hard pass on this side too. I hope for all of you in the audience, it's a hard pass. Even if you don't have kids, you should be feeling that way, because this week things really escalated. And I know we could say that last week and the week prior to that, and we've been saying it even on this very show for weeks and weeks and weeks. But it's remarkable to me that, one, that's been the case, that there's just this commitment to insanity. Like, does this make sense? Is it going to lead to millions, if not billions of deaths? Yes, let's do it. Like, I mean, it keeps going that path. But this week, you know, we poked the bear in a big way. You had, starting off, Poland asking kind of loosely, hey, Germany, you built the Leopard tanks. We bought them from you. We kind of need your blessing on this. If we were to ask, what would you say? Would you say okay? And they kind of alluded to the fact that, yeah, well, we won't get in the way. Then that official request happened. Then you had a foreign minister from Germany say, we're at war with Russia, which, whether she meant to say that part out loud or not, she certainly did. And then it wasn't just those tanks. We decided it would be in the best interest of the United States and humanity across the globe to send, in addition to the Patriot missiles that we've sent, in addition to the HIMARS and the drones and all the other stuff, in addition to some of our own servicemen and women in the military and intel community who are on the ground there right now, it would be a good idea to give them some M1 Abrams tanks, 31 of them to be specific. We talked about it when it happened, Ray, but honestly, it put a pit in my stomach, because it continues to show how reckless this administration is. And it's not just this administration, it's the uniparty, it is all of D.C., with the rare exception of some individuals who actually love this country and want to prevent shit like this. But it's like you can't expect this to end well when you keep sending massive artillery, all sorts of equipment, and our most state-of-the-art stuff over there to kill Russian soldiers. It just, it blows my mind again. It put a huge pit in my stomach, and it's like, well, shit, here we go, because that's a big deal.
Yeah, and we're getting past the point of no return, it seems, every week. Like, I'm like, okay, Patriot missiles are super bad. This is terrible. Like, what's going to happen? And, you know, that's after we blew up their pipeline and pretend like we didn't, right? Like a couple months ago. And now we're having tanks go, and they're already discussing sending jets, missiles, all of these things, and there's no consideration for peace, right? Like none. Like you just, there's nobody out there in this uniparty on our side has any care to slow this thing down and go, hey, hang on, like, where is this going? Like, what's the actual, you know, consequences of these things we're doing to try to support Ukraine and you know, have my flag lapel on my shirt, and I'm awesome because I support Ukraine. But what happens when Putin just says, you know what, you're killing our people with your money and your weapons, and we're not going to take it anymore, and they start fighting back? And what does that look like? Right. Like, are these cyber attacks that we've been experiencing in the U.S., are they part of this, where they're taking down, you know, FAA for hours? They're doing this. Right. Like, is that connected? What does it look like when Russia doesn't want to do this game anymore? Like, when they don't want to get grinded out like they did in Afghanistan in the 80s. Like, that's what's happening here. A lot faster too. It seems like this thing is on the rails towards war, and there's nobody trying to put the brakes on whatsoever. There's like 20 people who are elected, you know, federally in this country that are even against it. It seems like at this point. Yeah. Where, don't you remember when the Democrats used to be anti-war, or is that just like a figment of my imagination?
They certainly used to scream that. They sure did, but now I guess they realize their bank accounts can sit pretty heavy with war, and here we are.
Get the whole story on Red Voice Media Premium using the link below, completely uncensored and ad-free.